Hello everyone, my name is Mad Scorpion, and welcome to the week of the spooky. Now, of course, I know that you might be thinking that means that it's Festival Lost, obviously, as we're in the tower right now. I'm just saying that it is the week before October starts, and October is, of course, the month that Halloween happens, so before we say clickbait, not clickbait, I'm being literal. So, the week of the spooky is here, and of course, because of that, there's always a new week in Destiny, and getting into some of the things that are going on right off the bat, we know there is an active Gambit booster, so if you ever need to grind out the Gambit ranks, just for any reason, if it's the Crime Mutiny ornament, leveling up, just getting the drops, and this is a better way to earn engrams or something like that, it is double Gambit right now, so if you want to grind out the ranks, now is the time to do it. Then, into the rest of the world, starting off with the Vanguard, of course. It is for our current Grandmaster, the Devil's Lair, which is a moderately hard one. As much as my team sees it as a moderately easy one, it is a high ad content. I know there's a lot of stuff. In some cases, not a lot of good places to hide, especially the high difficulty versions. But this week, currently, if my schedule makes sense, and I'll also reveal the full schedule, basically, right now, it's not a great weapon you would want to go for unless you want a good sniper rifle. Because if the rotation makes sense, I believe it is currently Silicon Neuroma. So, there's that. And with the 6th week of the season coming along, now we also have the full schedule. Now, once Grandmasters launch next Tuesday, it will have, of course, for those who have already have Conquer unlocked and are on the process of guilding, all 6 will be available. But the weapons will go as forward. For next week, or this is the rotation. So next week we will have the DFA available during that Nightfall. And then the schedule week by week will go forward with Adept DFA available, then Adept Mindbenders, Adept Duty Bound, Adept Malicious Birthright, Adept Horror's Least, and then Adept Silicon Neuroma again. That is the rotation going forward, and if I check my well, let's see, hang on. I can always check the seasonal thing. I gotta remember that always exists. And with how we have 70 days left, just over 2 months, we'll probably get through every weapon twice. So if you want an adept version of any of these weapons, you'll just have to complete a Grandmaster Nightfall, kill all the champions. You're guaranteed to get an adept dropped, at least one. And if you want any of these weapons, you'll have 2 opportunities to earn them. But aside from that, going in through the rest of the world. Now, of course, so we already checked Gambit with this booster. Now, for Crucible, we do have Mayhem for an active Crucible rotation. So if you need any easy games, just throwing supers at people, don't feel like trying hard, just want to cheese it or easy mode it, it is, of course, that. With, of course, Trials being active at the end of the week. And, of course, with King's Fall, we currently have now Devious Thievery, which I do believe is the War Priest Challenge, which it's hard to say what it is. I always forget. I know at one point I saw what all the challenge modes are, but basically, if you need an idea of what it is War Priest. So, there's that. And of course, with Master Mode, all the weapon drops are random, so there's no specific drop, but then we also do have discipline-focused armor for our armor rolls, in case you are just trying to get through it and get some armor. Now, through the rest of the world, it was Vow to Disciple last week, which means it goes through rotation and is back to Last Wish on our farmable raid. So if anyone wants to go through, kill Riven a bunch of times, get all the keys you want, and that is that. And as well, of course, challenge active for all encounters. Then for Dungeons, it was Shadow Throne last week, which means transferring to the next one, it is the Pit of Heresy. If you need a dungeon just to complete 4 pinnacle drops. It's pretty easy, very manageable solo. It's just a little bit issue with some mechanics, but I have faith for any 2-man team that can be able to get through it with, especially Arc 3.0 and some crazy builds. Now, into the helm and things that are going around. We have another pirate available for the Catch Crash. Since it is week 6, it is back to Skiffix, which is the annoying one, which has the rotating elemental shield, the trip mines all over the place. If you remember it, you remember it. If you haven't met him, oh boy, you're in for a fight. But then, of course, that is just Catch Crash. No new expedition areas, because I doubt we'll get anything more till the end of the season. But in terms of the rest of the seasonal stuff, for the Psyops Battlegrounds Arena, we do have European Dead Zone for that. And there's nothing really rotates that it's in and out for the moon. But just to keep in line with the seasonal stuff, we might as well hit seasonal challenges now. So for week 6, we have Antiquarian 6, which is basically do this weekly story mission, place the relic, and then also defeat powerful Cabal throughout the system. Powerful being anything yellow bar or higher. Yellow bar, boss bar, champion, however you want to do it. That'll reward you a repute, which is an upgrade for your star chart, and then raise a glass, which is performing emotes at the end of Catch Crash or Expedition for additional rewards. Doing so on master difficulty will reward bonus progress. This interaction requires you to purchase the first swashbuckler upgrade, of course. So, there is that. They made sure to say that you have to upgrade something and get started on the season before you can do it. And of course, that awards another upgrade for the star chart. They also have Catch Crasher 2, which is in Catch Crash. Do basically any of the 3 rotating activities. Destroy shield generators, hack terminals, or destroy ether tanks in any of the 3 encounters. You only get 2 per run, so it's a little bit chance-based, but basically just play a bunch of Catch Crash and play the objectives as they come along. You also have Hailstorm, which is defeating targets with arc or stasis abilities, defeating combatants in expedition, and defeating guardians with reward progress progress. We have Apex Armor, Masterwork a piece of armor, which if you don't have anything you want or know you want to do, basically just take a piece of your class item, Masterwork that, or I think a Ghost Shell might count too. Actually, let's find out. Let's see if that'll count too. It does say a piece of armor. I know, there's purpose to finding out these things. And this is the cheap Masterwork, so why not? So they actually know what they're doing. It's not just Ghost Shells, it actually has to be a piece of armor. But then moving forward, we have for the Crucible Challenge, or no, the Nightfall Challenge, excuse me. Basically just stunning champions. It doesn't say it has to be done in strikes, it doesn't say it has to be done in lost sectors, but pretty much if you want to load into a master mode content and you really want to farm this, since it's Devil's Lair, there are overload champions. If you just want to keep stunning overloads and maybe farm the thousands of overload stuns, that can probably get it done real quick. And they also have Intended Authority, which is acquired the Crucible Ornament for Cry Mutiny. In case you don't know how to do that, basically you just need to play a bunch of Crucible. Once you reach the first reset, you'll have earned Cry Mutiny, the grenade launcher itself. And then once you go to the second reset, you will have also earned the Crucible Ornament for Cry Mutiny as well. Then, that was all the challenges. Now, in the rest of the world, let's see, for the Throne World, we have currently in VOW, for our challenge, we have Looping Catalyst currently available, which is Rolk Challenge. Basically, you just have to never lose the leeching buff and never have to break a second crystal. Then, for our rotations of the weekly mission, it is currently the Ghosts, which is the 3rd mission, aka the one where you have to fight the knockoff Hangman. That's a bit annoying for some folks. Then into Eternity for our rotations. For our Legend Mode rotations, it is Fallen Hive and Zydron for the 3 encounters, in case you want to farm out your Legendaires and try to get some more red borders. Then with that, that is pretty much everything in the world that is important, worth noting. Of course, like I said, Trials will be active this weekend. Who knows what Flawless it'll be, because that's still kind of coming about. But speaking of weaponry, for our rotations, we have Percy's D, a Hake high-impact frame scout rifle. Which, while this roll might not be the best, at the same time, there's plenty of decent rolls. I know this one is a little bit more niche, because I know there's people that love using this in Crucible. There's other people that say scout rifles in Crucible are the worst, but, you know. Then there's, of course, Crate, which is a rapid-fire frame Valikadin knockoff in the form of a Viced auto rifle, which is pretty much rapid fire. It comes with Viced, so it has a Viced origin perk, chance to auto reload and all that sort of things. Decent enough rolls for both PvE and PvP available, but at the same time, I haven't really seen it in main use a lot. Then we also have Cantata 57, which is a mainly Crucible focused hand cannon. The Suros Suros perk being what Suros perk is, but then rolls like this, where it's all the range, a handling buff, and then a damage buff against Guardians and their super and that sort of thing. That's kind of what that is focused for. Then we have another lightweight sidearm, this one a Viced one, the Viced thing being the only thing to make this a useful sidearm, if a useful sidearm exists in this game. Then we also have Palmyra B, which is another rocket launcher that I will say once again, while it is a roll that you can use, it's, you know, a rocket launcher roll. This can be crafted and made into something much better. You won't have to spend alloys or a ton of element on it. You can just craft a better roll in general. Then we also have Titan GL5, which is a pretty good stasis grenade launcher. It's one that I'm pretty sure Banshee has had literally every week I've done this. So, stats for all Adrenaline Junkie, that's not the greatest roll, but this thing can have Explosive Light, Unrelenting, Demolitionist, Wellspring. Plenty of good options for a heavy, if you just want a heavy option to kill things and just get things out of your way. Aside from that, there's pretty much every other weapon that is available at Banshee. We might get a re-roll on some of those, but of course, I don't know. I saw things everywhere that say Banshee only resets once a week, but then I'll see the rolls rotate every like Thursday or Wednesday. With that, that is the reset update. My name is Matt Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.